15 Things You Should Never Do in Sri Lanka. Similar to many other countries in Southeast Asia, Sri Lanka is a conservative country that prides itself on its traditional values. To make your stay on this beautiful island safe, memorable, and trouble-free, take note of this list of things to avoid. Number 1. Don't disrespect religion. It is especially ill-advised to touch a monk, particularly on their head, and women are not allowed to touch monks at all. Also, don't forget to take your shoes off when visiting a temple. Number 2. Don't turn your back on a Buddha's statue. This action is considered to be disrespectful. It is okay to take photos, but make sure everyone in the picture is facing the statue. It is also frowned upon to wear clothing with images of the Buddha, or any other deity. Number 3. PDA is not entertained. When in Sri Lanka, try not to get too touchy in public. Public display of affection, or PDA, is not at all accepted in the country. Any such activity is considered a bad form of behavior in Sri Lanka. Public displays of affection are not socially acceptable. Number 4. Eating with the left hand. Again, Sri Lanka has many weird rules and regulations. If you are a left-handed person, then Sri Lanka is probably not for you, as eating with left hand is one of the most frowned upon unclean things to do here. So, you'll have to be a little vigilant here. Number 5. Don't take snaps without asking first. Before you take a photo, make sure that you check that it is okay to do so. Some places, such as museums, sometimes require you to buy a permit. It is best to ask before taking photos of soldiers or police officers. Make sure authorities are okay with you taking pictures of the statues, and other important religious artifacts. Number 6. Don't try to check into a hotel with no beds. Don't expect to find beds in all hotels. Confusingly for tourists, many small Sri Lankan restaurants are called hotels, a tradition that dates back to the time when the best place to get something decent to eat was in an actual hotel. Number 7. Avoid comparisons between Sri Lanka and India. Sri Lanka and India are both in their own unique ways culturally rich and diverse. Both of them have similar cultures and follow some of the same traditions and follow the same religion, speak some of the same languages, like Tamil, and so on. Therefore, despite some similarities, there are vast differences as well, making each country unique. Therefore, comparisons between the two will be met with frowns and disdain from the locals. Number 8. Don't get confused when they waggle their heads as an answer. An action peculiar to Sri Lanka, the head waggle is a distinct form of affirmation. When saying okay or yes, Sri Lankans usually shake their head from one side to the other instead of nodding like most Westerners. So don't mistake their head waggle for a no, rejection or negation. Its connotations often are positive, unless the locals are being ironic or sarcastic with you. Number 9. Don't drink the tap water. Avoid drinking water from the tap. Just don't even brush your teeth. It is unsafe. Not only will your digestive system not be used to the microorganisms, but experts also believe that industry, agricultural waste and fertilizers are contaminating the water supply, causing a growing number of water-related health problems in the country. Number 10. Do not be reckless when crossing busy roads. Road deaths as a result of reckless driving are at an all-time high in the country, as a result of drivers taking liberties while on the road. Some examples include public transport breaking red lights, tuk-tuks or metered taxis driving on the wrong side of the road for convenience's sake, or motorcycles and other two-wheelers driving on the pavement to beat the traffic. So be careful when traversing the roads of Sri Lankan cities. Number 11. Do not be fooled by tuk-tuk drivers. Tuk-tuks are basically the Sri Lankan rickshaws that will give you a lift for a certain fare. Ask around the city for what the rates for these tuk-tuks usually are, so that you have an idea and won't be fooled when a driver charges you a rate exponentially greater than what they would for locals. Also, when in the city of Colombo, make sure that the rickshaw has a meter, and whether it is functioning properly. Only then hire the tuk-tuk. Number 12, Sri Lanka Buddha tattoo ban. A number of tourists have been banned from entering Sri Lanka, as they had visible Buddha tattoo on their body, which is considered an offense in the country. Also make sure you don't take selfies or pose standing in front of Buddha statue in Sri Lanka, an act that might land you in trouble. Number 13, beware of the mosquito. Just like any other destination in the world, some of the good things about Sri Lanka are also bad things about Sri Lanka. Its rawness and un-urban charm come with a few drawbacks too. For example, the problem of mosquitoes and other insects. Do not forget to carry mosquito repellent sprays or creams with you when traveling to Sri Lanka, especially in the more remote areas of the country. Number 14, don't ride an elephant in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka has more than a dozen or so national parks where an estimated 5,000 to 6,000 elephants roam freely. However, there are also approximately 120 to 200 elephants in captivity. Elephants are broken to train them to allow riders on their backs, using a variety of cruel methods, and many are not fed properly as well as kept in chains. Be a responsible traveler, and head to one of Sri Lanka's many national parks to see wild Asian elephants instead. Number 15, don't ride a scooter or motorcycle without a helmet. Though scooter rentals are not as big or common in Sri Lanka, as they are in places like Bali and Thailand, you might still be able to rent scooters here and there, from private owners, especially along the southern coast. Just know this, you will get stopped by the police if you ride a scooter or motorcycle in Sri Lanka without a helmet, and you will be fined.